throughout these 4 hours. So we have an introduction later, introduction and icebreaker. And then we have Payroll Panda demo. Demo is where I show you on how to use the system. Usually the same training that I will train my customer on how to use the system. And then we will have a little bit of a break, at 4 p.m. macam tu. And then on moving on, we have Jibble demo, same as Piro Panda demo, but for Jibble. And then last but not least, we have an assignment discussion, which we are going to go through one by one on the discussion. So during that time, if you have any question, or even throughout the session, if you have any question that you would like to ask, feel free to check in the chat box, or you can also unmute your microphone. We can answer all questions together, okay? All right. Okay, so let's start with our ice-breaking games. So one word expectation. So the first one, we have payroll. So what does the first thing that came up to your mind when you heard about payroll?
Gaji.
Gaji, boleh, correct. Lain? Yang ni tak ada salah, tak ada betul answer. Semua boleh. Okay. So gaji boleh, tak ada masalah, ataupun kita boleh cakap sebagai accuracy, reliability ataupun compliance. Okay, so itu untuk payroll. And then moving on, we have number 2, attendance. So what does the first thing that came up to your mind when you heard about attendance?
Working shift.
Alright, okay, that's great. Terima kasih banyak. Alright, so kita pun boleh cakap pasal punctuality, reliability dan juga disiplin. Okay, and last but not least, kita ada HR. Okay, so what does the first thing that came out to your mind when you heard ataupun when you dengar pasal HR?
Administrator.
That's great. Alright, so kalau I dengar sebagai support, sebab HR ni adalah support when it comes to everything throughout the company. Kalau nak tanya public holiday bila ke, nak tanya payroll, nak tanya gaji, nak tanya kenapa makanan tak restock kat pantry, semua tanya dekat HR. So HR I would say as support, the main support of the company. Okay, moving on. Next, kita akan buat the myth or fact, payroll edition. So the first statement, employers in Malaysia must pay their employees monthly wages no later than the 7th day of the following month. This is a myth or a fact? Kalau sekarang. A fact. Okay. All right, great.
Fact.
Okay.
Fact.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, great job everyone. It is a fact. So yes, Section 19 of the Employment Act 1955 generally mandates that wages must be paid no later than 7th day of the wages period ends. So ini untuk gaji. So 7th day of the following month. If we are talking about the statutory body, which is EPF, SUKSO, EISPCB, you need to make the contribution on or before the 15th of the following month. That is to avoid any penalty. Okay, moving on to the second statement. So, EPF, Employees Provident Fund contributions are calculated as a flat percentage of an employee's exact monthly salary regardless of the amount. Myth or fact?
Flat percentage as in like the 11%?
So flat percentage as in, correct, 11%. So basically you're using calculator to calculate it. Okay, so the answer would be a myth. So basically in EPF, yes, we have the flat percentage of 11% and 12 or 13% for the employer contribution. However, some companies, before they started using any payroll system, or perhaps they don't have any knowledge in regards to payroll, usually they use their calculator to calculate it, so there will be a cents. Sebagai contoh, 11 ringgit and 10 cents. So usually in EPF, we don't have any cents. So you need to refer to the EPF table, third schedule of the EPF Act 1991 punya table. Okay. Moving on. Third statement. If an employee works on a public holiday in Malaysia, they are only entitled to their normal daily wage as long as it's within their regular working hours. Myth or fact?
Myth.
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 Myth. Myth.
Great job, everyone. It is a myth. So employees working on gazetted public holiday are entitled to significantly higher rates. So basically, if an employee work on a public holiday, they deserve or no, not deserve. They need to be paid their OT. Okay. Moving on. The fourth statement. Foreign workers in Malaysia are exempted from all statutory contributions like EPF, SOCSO, and EIS. Fact or myth?
Myth. Fact.
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 Okay, there's a lot of mixture of jawapan. Okay, so let's see. It's actually a myth. Okay. So while there are some differences, example, EPF is typically optional for foreign workers, though employers may still contribute a nominal amount. So basically, currently, as of, I believe, May 2026, this year, quite recent, all foreign worker is compulsory for them to contribute to EPF, which is only 2% from their salary. Okay, so not all are exempted from EPF, SOCSO, and EIS. Moving on, the maximum ordinary working hours in Malaysia are 45
True.
hours per week. Okay. Okay, myth ke fact?
Fact.
Fact.
Betul, betul tu.
Fact.
Fact, betul. Fakta, correct. So following recent amendments to the Employment Act 1955, effective of 1st Jan 2023, the maximum ordinary working hour has been rounded to 45 hours per week. Okay, so let's say if an employee work exceeded 45 hours per week, what will happen? So basically, if they exceeded working 45 hours per week, employers are bertanggungjawab, the employees are responsible to pay the employees overtime. So we have overtime normal, overtime public holiday, or overtime rest day. So overtime normal kita darabkan dengan 1.5. Okay, moving on. Next, employers are not required to provide any breaks for employees who's working 5 consecutive hours or less. Myth ataupun fact? Okay, jadi jawapan dia adalah fact. So basically, an employee need to work at least more than 5 hours or more than 5 hours consecutive hour in order for them to be able to take the breaks. So the Employment Act 1955 states that employees working for more than 5 consecutive hours must be given a break of at least 30 minutes. If they work 5 or less, kalau bekerja kurang daripada 5 jam, a mandatory break is not stipulated by this provision. Right. Okay, moving on. I think this is the last one. Screenshot, yeah. The second last one. So manual timesheet are generally more accurate than the digital time tracking system because they are less prone to technical glitches. Myth ataupun fact?
Myth.
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 Mitos.
Okay, great
Myth.
job, everyone. Alright, it is definitely a myth. While digital systems can have technical glitch sometimes, tapi manual timesheet pun are susceptible juga sebab kadang kalau manual timesheet tu ada orang yang tolong tuliskan untuk kita ataupun ada orang tolong untuk clockikan untuk kita, so it's not 100% reliable for manual timesheet. Okay. And finally, I believe this is our last ice-breaking games. Flexible working arrangements are now a mandatory right for all employees in Malaysia and employers must approve FWA requests. Myth ataupun fact?
Myth.
Alright, great job. It is definitely a myth. So the Employees Act 1955 now allows employee to apply for flexible working arrangement, and employer must consider this request and provide a decision within 60 days. However, employees are not obligated to approve all requests and can refuse with reasonable grounds. So kalau kata ada reasonable grounds, ada reasonable reason why they don't want to approve this FWA, then should be no problem. Okay. So I hope everyone is still with me, dapat dengar suara saya, dapat tengok screen saya. If not, you can just unmute your microphone to inform me if you're unable to view my screen or hear my voice, okay? Alright, so for today's session, we are going to cover on importance of payroll software, what is Payroll Panda, and using Payroll Panda as a HR professionals, a little bit on the demo. Okay, so importance of payroll software, save time and cost, saving time through auto calculations and integrations. So if you're doing payroll manually, right, you need to calculate all the information manually. For example, the EPF, you need to refer back to the EPF table. So NEIS, you need to refer to the so NEIS table. PCB, you need to calculate it manually. So it is definitely time consuming. With Payroll Panda or with payroll software, you just need to insert the information accurately in the system, and the system will help you to calculate all the auto calculations. And then using software can help minimize errors in payroll. So basically kalau kita gunakan sistem, sebab sistem yang akan tolong calculatekan all the statutory contributions and everything, so we will have to minimize error in payroll. Sebab if you're doing it manually, usually kita tak boleh nak avoid from human error. Kadang ada typo lah, kadang ada tersalah kira, tersalah punch in numbers in your calculator, right? And then minimum fine of 200 per employee per month for underpaying PCB. Kalau kata if you're not using any payroll system, if you are doing it manually, kalau tersilap calculate PCB and you have already submitted the PCB amount to LHDN, kalau LHDN found out there's any error or underpaid, you will be fined. The company will be fined. Okay? So no errors, no fines, saving costs. Accessibility pula. Cloud software allows easy access, serve as a centralized hub for employee data, access your data anytime, anywhere from any devices, integrates with other cloud solution as well. So untuk accessibility ni pula, our system, you can access our system wherever you are as long as you have your devices, for example, your computer, laptop, or tab, and strong internet connection. You don't need to download any software. You don't need to download any system. Everything is in the cloud. So you can just Google Payroll Panda and then just log in as per usual. Okay, so for automation, manual payroll takes a few days. Payroll software can automate in minutes. Probably less than that, I would say. So in Payroll Panda, which I will show you later on the demo, it's so easy and so not time consuming at all for you to process 1 month payroll. If you're doing it manually, perhaps you need to double check first. You need to get approval from the above management first. So it's a little bit time consuming juga lah. Instant updates on Malaysian labour laws and calculation rules to ensure compliance. Statutory contributions and taxes calculation are done automatically for you. Okay, so macam kita cakapkan tadi lah. So all the statutory contribution, PCB, EPF, SOCSO, EIS, HRDF, everything will be calculated automatically by the system. All you need to do is, once we calculated the information, just download the files and upload to the bank portal to make the payment. Sangat senang. Also, kita punya system is LHDN approved. So that is why this is very important as well. Sebab kita bermain dengan PCB. PCB is tax. LHDN. So we don't want any error in your LHDN calculation. So we are LHDN compliance. And user-friendly, run payroll easily via user-friendly interface, intuitive design, beginner-friendly, minimal training or HR expertise required. So kalau kata tak pernah buat HR, kerja HR sebelum ni, if you're looking at the system later, you will know that it's actually very easy to use. Perhaps the first time you're using it, maybe there's a lot of hiccups or error, but not to worry, once you get used to it, it's very easy to use actually. Especially when you're doing your assignment nanti, it's actually very easy to use, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, our payroll panda, we have expert support. We have manual payroll has no expert support, so relying on internet resources. So usually if you're doing it payroll manually, kan sometimes if you don't understand certain things on your payroll, you tend to Google the answer or ChatGPT the answer. So in Payroll Panda, we have a designated chat, live chat system, which you can just click and ask our human chat agent, and they will assist you with any questions that you have. Also, our customer support team, they are very knowledgeable when it comes to the statutory or payroll in Malaysia. And auto updates, system updates are done automatically, no waiting hours, work on the latest data with seamless updates and no disruption. Example, annual changes announced in new budget. For example, let's say recently they announced on the SOCSO, there's an additional of SOCSO punya contribution. So once the government announced it, in the system already automatically updated it. So our system auto update on all the new regulations that is set by the ministry, by the government. So, what is Payroll Panda? Payroll Panda is a cloud payroll software, the best and most user-friendly in Malaysia. I might be biased a little bit, but it's the best and most user-friendly in Malaysia, and auto calculation. So for Payroll Panda's goal, help HR personnel with tedious and complicated tasks, save time, cost, effort in doing payroll. All right. So let's dive into the practical payroll. So let me just stop sharing for a while. Sekejap ya. Just give me one moment. Okay, so let me just confirm back. Can everyone view my screen sekarang?
Boleh.
Boleh. All right, that's great. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Okay, sekejap. Oops. Okay, so once you log into your Payroll Panda account, you will be directed to this page, which is the dashboard page. So dekat dalam dashboard ni is just a summarized information of your payroll. If you have already processed that month punya payroll, there will be an indicator over here to show that you've already successfully processed the payroll. Okay, so automatically once you log in, this is the first page that you will be seeing. So once logged in, for example, let's say if you would like to change your login email or login password, very simple. Just go over here, go to your account settings, and then you can change the email and password on this section. All right, so this is how you change the login email and password. Okay, so moving on. Under settings, we have company settings. Under company settings, we have several subsection over here starting from profile. So under profile, if you would like to upload your company's logo, just click on this pencil button to upload the logo. This logo will appear on employee's payslip. And then over here nanti during your assignment, you can insert your company information, statutory information, and bank details. So to insert the information, just click on this pencil button. So once updated, macam biasa, klik sahaja pada save. If you are not too sure on how to insert the information, just hover your mouse over to this eye icon. Boleh read through the description that we provided. Okay, kemudian save macam biasa. Same goes to statutory information as well. Pencil button, and then just insert the information accordingly. Okay, just hover your mouse to the eye icon to read through the description. Same goes to bank details as well. Okay, so itu adalah untuk profile. Once again, kalau ada apa-apa soalan nak tanya, feel free to chat or unmute microphone terus, okay? Not to worry about that. Okay, moving on. Next, kita ada location. So untuk location pula, for example, let's say your company, your dummy company that you are creating for your assignment, ada multiple location. perhaps different employee working under different location. So you can create multiple location on this section. Okay. So just klik saja pada add location. Klik saja pada add location and then letak nama the location. Just insert the name of the location over here. Alright, and then you can straight away assign the employees that will be working under that particular location. And then just insert the address over here. So once done, you can click on save. So for example, over here, I've created 2 locations. One in Perak, another one in Selangor. I've already assigned the employees accordingly as well. So let's say if you would like to amend any information on the existing location, just click on this pencil button. If this location is no longer available, you can click on this box button to archive the location. Sebagai contoh, katakanlah you tersalah create. Alright, katakanlah you tersalah create ke any information. Kalau you nak delete balik the location tu, you just click saja pada butang archive ni untuk remove the location. Ataupun kalau you nak edit, just click on this pencil button to edit. Alright, so that is all under locations. Moving on to schedules pula. So under schedules, for example, let's say in your company, you have different groups of employees working on different days. So you can create multiple schedules on this section. For example, over here, I've created 2 schedules. One for HQ employee working from Monday to Friday. Another one is for sales employee working from Monday to half day Saturday. Okay, so how to create this schedule? Very simple. Just click on the schedule button over here. Insert the name of the schedule. You can straight away assign which employee that will be working under this schedule. And then just tick sahaja which days the employee will be working. So once done, you can click on save. Alright, if you would like to update any information on the existing schedule, simply click on this pencil button to update. Or perhaps if you would like to remove this schedule, click on this box button to archive the schedules. Alright. So that is all under schedules. Sorry. One moment, yeah. Okay, so moving on to positions. So under positions, actually dekat dalam section ni tak ada apa-apa information sangat. So moving forward, when you insert employee details under employee section dekat sini, automatically the position will be auto-reflected over here. So on this section, you can double check how many positions available in your company and what type of positions available in your company. Okay, so that is all under positions. And last but not least, we have departments. So under departments, if you would like to group your employees based on the department, you can create multiple department on this section. Simply click on Add Department button over here. Insert the name of the department. You can straight away assign which employee that will be working under this department. And then click on Save. For example, I've created 3 departments. I've already assigned the employees accordingly as well. If you would like to edit or amend any information on the existing department, click on this pencil button. If this department is no longer available, you can click on this box button to archive the department. Jadi that is all under company settings. We've covered profile, locations, schedules, positions, and departments. Moving on to payroll settings. Dalam payroll settings pula, we have 3 subsections starting from cycles. So under cycles, on this section, let's say some company, they have different cut-off period for payroll period. So you can just insert the information on this section. Alright, just click on this pencil button and then just update the information over here. And then over here, we have the policies. So for the policies, the 2 sections that I'm highlighting to you right now, salary, proration, and unpaid leave, these 2 sections kindly ensure you select calendar days. The reason why you need to select calendar days is because this is to follow the Employment Act. So once again, once you set up your own account for the assignment, please make sure these two sections you select calendar days. Alright, this is to follow the Employment Act. Untuk overtime, for overtime and leave pay, you can choose one out of these options. The first one, kita ada fixed days. If you choose this option, you need to insert number of fixed days over here. For example, I inserted 26 days. So that Payroll Panda able to calculate overtime based on 26 days. Okay, for example, if the employee's salary is 2,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit will be divided by 26 to calculate overtime. Second option, we have working days. If you choose this option, Payroll Panda will calculate overtime based on number of working days in a month plus public holiday. For example, if the employee's salary is 2,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit will be divided by total number of working days in a month to calculate overtime. And final option, we have calendar days. If you choose this option, Payroll Panda will calculate overtime based on number of days available in that particular month. For example, in June, we have 30 days, so the salary will be divided by 30 days. In July, we have 31 days, salary will be divided by 31 to calculate overtime. But for overtime and leave pay, we would also like to advise you to choose either fixed days or working days, because this is also to follow the Employment Act, fixed days or working days. So once again, salary proration and unpaid leave by hook or by crook, you need to choose calendar days. Okay, for overtime and leave pay, you have the option to choose either fixed days ataupun working days. Fixed days ataupun working days. Okay, so if you make any changes on this page, jangan lupa untuk klik pada butang save. So that is all under policies. Moving on to payroll items. So under payroll items, for your information, in Payroll Panda, we have over 80 preset items. Meaning to say in Payroll Panda, we have bill allowance, traveling allowance, we have commission, bonus, incentive, everything we have in Payroll Panda. And everything that I mentioned to you just now, we follow the statutory body requirement. Okay? So, for example, for bonus over here, if I hover my mouse over to these colored boxes, it will show that bonus affects PCB and EPF. Commission pula, it affects PCB, EPF, SOCSO, and EIS. So not to worry, you can just use the preset item available in Payroll Panda. Nanti Payroll Panda akan tolong kirakan the accurate amount for all statutory body. Aside from that, let's say if you would like to create your own custom item. For example, some company diorang ada kasih special allowances which is not available in Payroll Panda, not available in the system. So don't worry, you can create custom item. So just click on payroll item, add payroll item, and then just fill up all information on this section. Okay, once again, you can hover your mouse over to this eye icon to read through on how to insert the information over here. Okay, so once done, one moment, yeah. So once done, you can click on save over here. All right, so that is all under payroll item. So let me repeat once again. Under payroll items, let's say if you would like to create your own custom item, you can click on this button, add payroll item. Once you fill up all information over here, you can click on save. Once you click on save, you will notice that there's a custom labeled next to the custom item that you created. So anything you see with custom over here is the one that you created. All right, so that is all under payroll settings. We've covered cycles, policies, and payroll items. I believe we are going to skip subscription settings sebab ini related to when the customer subscribe to our system and the payment as well. So we're just going to skip that section, okay? Next, moving on, we have integrations. So under integrations, currently Payroll Panda are integrated with several software over here. Okay, so For Jibble punya integration, I am going to show you later towards the end of this session. Sebab sekarang kita cover Payroll Panda dahulu. After this, we will cover on Jibble and how to sync Payroll Panda and Jibble as well. Sebentar ya, just give me one moment ya. Okay, so let's proceed. For managed users, moving on to managed users. So for managed users pula, on this page, let's say in your company, you have multiple PIC, multiple person in charge handling your company's Payroll Panda account. Perhaps you would like them to have their own login email and password. You can send them the invitation over here because some company, they ada HR, kemudian perhaps HR tu ada assistants to process the payroll. So let's say if the HR assistants would like to be invited to this payroll system, they can do so. Just click on invitation dekat sini and then click on invite admin and then just insert the PIC's email address over here. So once done, you can go to permissions. You can just enable or disable certain restriction over here. For example, let's say this PIC that you are inviting is not authorized to view employees' payroll information. Boleh untick sahaja dekat sini. But let's say this is the PIC to process payroll and then just leave it tick dekat sini. And then just click on invite. Once the PIC accepted the invitation, their name will be available under users as admin. Okay. Jadi untuk owner have full access on the sidebar over here. Okay, have full access in the sense where they boleh edit information, add any information from dashboard up until manage users. For admin pula, it depends on the restriction that you set just now. Okay, depends on the settings that you tick or untick just now. Okay, so that is all under manage users. So moving on to employees. So kita dah cover for settings, company settings, payroll settings, subscription settings, integrations and manage users. If you have any question to ask, feel free to unmute your microphone or chat in the chat box. Okay. In the meantime, I'm just going to proceed with the session. Moving on to employees. So under employees, this is the section where you have to insert employees, new employee information. Alright. So very simple. Just click saja pada add employee and then just fill up all information on this section. Okay, so I am going to show you example of information needed using my existing dummy employee. Let's choose this employee. So under employee profile, we have several subsection over here, starting from profile. So under profile, we have the personal information where you need to insert all employees' personal information over here. The most important part on this section is the marital status. Alright, so if the employee is married, we need to know their spouse's information. If they have any dependent children, we need to know all this information so that Payroll Panda able to calculate PCB amount accurately moving forward. And then dekat sini pula, we have the employee's contact information. Boleh isi sahaja dekat sini. And payment information. So for payment method, for this employee, if you tick on bank transfer, you need to insert the employee's bank details dekat dalam section ni. So ini adalah cara pembayaran gaji. If you tick on cash, you don't have to insert any info over here. But if you tick on bank transfer, definitely you need to insert information over here. Okay, so that is all under profile. Alright, Moving on to employment pula. So under employment, the first section we have employment information. For salary section over here, kindly ensure you only insert the basic salary amount, non-inclusive of any items or allowances, just basic salary. And the wealth position, so on and so forth. Next, we have statutory information. For PCB number, kindly ensure you insert the PCB number over here. For EPF, we have 8-digit EPF number. You need to insert the 8-digit EPF number on this section. Untuk SOCSO pula, we have 2 different category. So on this section, system will auto-detect based on the employee's nationality and date of birth. Alright, so system auto-detect untuk pekerja ni, employment injury scheme and invalidity scheme. So for this scheme, it includes the employee, Malaysian and foreign employee, age below 60, age below 60. Follow the first category, which is employment injury scheme and invalidity scheme. So over here, usually I will advise my customer not to touch it because this section we will auto-detect based on the personal information that you inserted previously. Same goes to EIS juga. So this section also will be auto-detect based on the employee's nationality and date of birth. Moving on. Next, we have the recurring payroll items. Okay, under recurring payroll items, any item that the employee receive on a monthly basis, you need to insert on this section. For example, if the employee receive a meal allowance every month, you need to insert on this section. Why? Because it is paid on a monthly basis. So very simple, just click on select an item, search for meal allowance, select meal allowance. If the amount is the same every month, straight away insert the amount over here. But let's say if the amount is not the same every month, maybe this month 120 ringgit, maybe next month higher a little bit, 160 ringgit. Okay, so different amount every month, make sure you insert as 0. Let's do another example. Let's say this employee also receive commission on a monthly basis. As we all know, commission, the amount is not the same every month, but still need to insert on this section. Why? Because it is paid on a monthly basis. Alright, same step, select an item, search for commission, select commission, and then just leave the amount as 0 over here. Later, we will show you on how to insert the amount on this section, okay? So let me repeat once again. Under recurring payroll items, this is the section where you have to insert all items that the employee receive on a monthly basis. If the amount is the same every month, straight away insert the amount over here. If the amount is not the same every month, please insert as 0. Alright, so that is all under employment. Okay, moving on to groups. So under groups, remember all these department locations semua ni we have created under company settings just now. So let's say upon creating the item, maybe you forgot to assign the employees. Not to worry, you can assign them individually over here. So let's say this employee working under different department, perhaps different location. So you can just reassign them on this section, okay? So that is all under groups. Moving on to payroll. Under payroll, we have 2 buttons over here. Monthly YTD data and TP3 form. So I am going to explain on TP3 form first. TP3 form is for previous employment data. So for example, let's say in your company, for your assignment, in your company, you have employee that recently joined your company. Maybe their joined it is on 1st of July or 1st of June 2026. Let's say previously from January up until May, only for this current year, only for this year 2026, this employee worked somewhere else before. One moment, yeah. So this employee worked somewhere else before. you need to ask them to fill up the TP3 form. Okay, so just click on the TP3 form, click on download over here. You can provide the hard copy to the employees lah. So once they revert back to you, you can update this information accordingly. So which section the employee need to key in? C1. Okay, C1 is the accumulated amount from their salary that they receive from January up until May before they join your company in 1st of June 2026. We only require information in 2026 untuk tahun ini sahaja. Kalau kata tahun ni dia tak pernah bekerja tempat lain, perhaps this is their first job, so they don't have to insert any information over here lah. Diorang boleh just sign the hard copy. Okay. So C1 is important, the accumulated amount of their salary that they receive from January until the last day. And then we have C3, which is for the KWSP, only for the employee contribution. We don't require employer contribution. Next, we have PCB or tax. And last but not least, we have D14 untuk SOCSO. SOCSO and EIS. SOCSO plus EIS also for the employee portion. We don't require you to insert the employer's portion. Only for the employee's portion. Pekerja punya contribution sahaja. Okay, so that is for the TP3 form. So once again, TP3 form is for previous employment data only for this year. So let's say sebagai contoh ada pekerja baru masuk on 1st of June. Daripada Januari sampai Mei, dia pernah bekerja dekat tempat lain sebelum ni. You need to ask them to fill up the TP3 form. Kenapa perlu fill up the TP3 form? Because we need to know whether previously, before they join your company, they already pay PCB or cukai or not. If yes, we need to know the amount so that Payroll Panda able to calculate PCB amount accurately. Also a requirement for LHDN jugalah. Sebab LHDN perlukan all the previous salary information for this year for new hire. So that is all for the previous employment data. Next, kita ada year-to-date data. So for the year-to-date data, let's say if you would like to start using Payroll Panda for June payroll, okay, please make sure this section is fully key in from January up until May. The reason why we need complete data on this section is because so that Payroll Panda able to help you to generate accurate e-form and EA form. Aside from that, we also need to know lah whether previously, before you started using Payroll Panda from January up until May, you ada kirakan PCB or not for that particular employee. If yes, we need to know all this so that Payroll Panda able to calculate PCB amount accurately moving forward. If the employee already working in the company from the beginning of the year, does it? No. So kalau kata dia dah bekerja daripada beginning of the year or perhaps they started last year, so they don't require to send, the employee is not required to fill up the TP3 form. However, if their join date is on 1st of January 2026, they still need to sign the form because they started their employment this year, 2026. Okay, kalau dia join date last year 2025, 2024, jadi tak perlulah TP3 form, just untuk 2026 punya hire sahaja. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Alright. So once again, we need complete data over here so that Payroll Panda able to calculate PCB amount accurately moving forward. Also for the E and EA form generation as well. So in your case, so let's say for example lah, you start using Payroll Panda, you nak start payroll, process payroll for February payroll. Okay, you nak start for February payroll. Make sure January ni dah key in dah. January, all the payroll items that you calculated previously dah key in dekat sini so that you can process February payroll accordingly. Okay, ataupun kalau you nak start for March. Alright, make sure January dan February section ni dah fully key in juga. That is all under payroll. Moving on to forms. So under forms, Payroll Panda will help you to generate several different types of forms over here. So you can just hover your mouse over to this eye icon to read through the forms first. Which form is required, especially for your assignment, which forms is required for you to include in the in the slides of your assignment. Okay. So that is all under employee profile. We have covered profile, employment, groups, payroll, and forms. So if you make any changes in any of this page, don't forget to click on save. Okay, so let's say if you have employee that would like to resign from your company, or perhaps you would like to terminate an employee, how to do about that? Very simple. You can just hover your mouse over to the resigning employee's name. Over here, we have the box button to archive the employee. Just click on this box button, fill up the information over here, and then click on confirm to archive the employee. Once done, the employee's name will be available under archived section over here. Okay, so that is all on employees section. Alright, so moving on to payroll pula. So under payroll, this is the section where companies usually go, PICs, HR PICs usually go on this section to process payroll for the company. Alright, so usually I would advise my customer, kalau dia nampak this lock button over here, meaning to say they are unable to unlock the payroll. If they accidentally unlock the payroll, sebagai contoh kita ter-unlock dekat sini, automatically all payroll data we inserted for January to February will disappear. Okay, so normally I would advise my customer not to unlock this payroll lah. So if you have already successfully processed the payroll, it will state here as approved. Okay, so for today's session, we are going to process June payroll together. So let's process June payroll sama-sama. So just click on June, click on payroll dekat sini. So system already help you to calculate the employee and employer contribution. Semua dah ada dekat sini. Remember this employee just now, we inserted his meal allowance and commission. So this is the section where you can insert the final amount for commission. Just click on this pencil button, commission, insert the final amount over here. So let me repeat once again. Any item that the employee receive on a monthly basis, please make sure to insert under employee's profile. If the amount is the same every month, you need to straight away insert the amount under employee's profile, and the amount will be auto-reflected over here. If the amount is not the same every month, please insert 0 under employee's profile, and you can proceed to insert the final amount on this section. Aside from that, let's say only for June payroll, hanya untuk June payroll sahaja, perhaps this employee will receive bonus or any item that is not paid on monthly basis, boleh terus insert dekat sini. So select an item, maybe they receive bonus for June payroll. Search for bonus, select bonus, and then insert the amount over here. Or maybe there's claim for June payroll. Same step, select an item, search for claim, select claim, and then just insert the final amount over here. So once updated, you can click on save. Once you click on save, system will recalculate back on the statutory contribution. So dekat sini, you can just update one by one for the employees for any additional payroll item that they will receive for the month of June. If you think that updating over here is quite a hassle because you need to do it one by one, not to worry, you can do it via bulk upload. So bulk upload, kira kata just click on the bulk upload, download on the sheet over here. Once downloaded, you can fill up the template. Not to worry if you don't know how to fill up the template. In the Excel sheet itself, there's a sample on how to insert information. You can just follow the sample. Once done, you need to download, you need to save in CSV file. So once saved in CSV file, you can upload back in the system, and system will recalculate on the statutory contribution. If let's say you only have 3 employees in your company, then you can do it manually macam tadi lah. If you have more than 30 employees ataupun more than 10 employees ke, I would advise you to do the bulk upload. So once you double check back on the statutory contribution, kalau kata semua okay, tak ada masalah, click on continue and then click on approve payroll. So once you click on approve payroll, Payroll Panda will help you to generate several different types of files. Okay, sebentar ya. Okay. The first file, we have the bank payment file, which includes salary file and statutory body file. All you need to do is just insert the crediting date over here. So once done, you can click on download, get all the files and upload in the respective bank portal to make payment for salary and statutory body. Okay, jadi tak perlu risau because a lot of my customers as well previously, they thought that once they click on approve payroll, automatically payroll Panda yang akan bayarkan gaji pekerja. Sebenarnya tidak. Once you click on approve payroll, payroll Panda hanya akan tolong generatekan the necessary file for you to upload in the respective bank portal or statutory body portal to make the payment, to make the contribution. Okay, jadi tak kisahlah kalau you saja-saja nak proses payroll ataupun tersalah ke nanti, just tak ada masalah. Just proses je dalam sistem. Next to the bank payment, we have the manual payment. So for the manual payment file, let's say some company, they prefer to upload the statutory body file via statutory body portal. So you need to download the files from here. But if you have already uploaded the statutory body files via bank portal, you don't have to do the manual payment. So it's either bank payment or manual payment. You don't have to do both. Moving on. Over here, we have the payroll file. Let's say if you would like to generate report or payroll summary, we have in two different format. Payroll summary in PDF format as well as in Excel format. Okay, let's say if you would like to generate payslip, perhaps for your own record, you can also download it from here as well. Okay, if the company has 10 employees, is it recommended to use bulk upload? Is it? Okay, so for that one also nanti kita akan bincangkan during our assignment discussion, okay? Nanti kita akan tunjukkan. Okay, thank you so much for the question. So once again, untuk payroll files, let's say if you would like to generate payroll summary, we have in two different format, PDF as well as Excel format. Untuk payslip pula, for example, let's say if you would like to, some company, they would like to download it for their own record, they can also download it from here. And then over here, we have the individual payment. So for the individual payment, for example, let's say for employee A, you would like to withhold their salary, but release their commission first. You can filter that on this section. For example, this employee, tak nak bayar gaji dulu. You would like to withhold their salary first, but release commission dahulu. So just click on commission, click on save. So over here, we have the net payment. This amount already deducted the necessary statutory body. So they can get the files from here to make the payment. Okay, and then finally, we have the payslip section. So for the payslip section, so let's say once you already process the payroll, everything is accurate, then only you would like to send payslip to the employees. Very simple, just click on send all over here. All right, and then you can click on this button, password protect payslip. All right, so once the employee receive payslip via email, before they can access their payslip, they need to insert the password first, which the password is the employee's IC number 12 digit with dash. If there's a foreigner, you can ask them to insert their passport number. Okay, but let's say if you feel like the password is not necessary, you can just untick over here. Should be no problem. This is optional. However, this is a good additional of extra security layer for the payslip. Okay, so once done, you can click on confirm. Automatically, the payslip will be sent to the employee's email address. All right. So that is all on how to process payroll in Payroll Panda. But for example, let's say some company sometimes they have already processed the payroll, everything is approved already, then only they realize maybe they forgot to key in commission for employee A. Or perhaps there's an increment for employee B. They forgot to update their basic salary amount. So do not worry, you can revert back the payroll. But reverting payroll is only applicable if you have yet to make any salary and statutory body payment. Okay, so how to revert back the payroll? Very simple. From approved button over here, just click on the approve button, click on draft. You can read the pop-up message here first, and then click on reopen anyway. So once you click on reopen anyway, it will bring you back to the payroll table. Okay, it will bring you back to the payroll table. So over here, you can just go through lah. Kalau kata tertinggal commission, just insert on this pencil button over here. Or maybe there's an increment, you need to adjust their basic salary amount. Go back to employee's profile and then adjust dekat sana. And then once you completed the adjustment, go back to Payroll Panda table over here to process the payroll. And don't worry, the item or information that we inserted previously will not disappear. It will still be here. Okay, so once updated, click back on continue, click back on approve payroll to get the updated files. But still, once again, you forgot to update any information, you can always go back to draft, provided that if the company have yet to make the salary and statutory body payment. So once you process payroll, it will state here as approved. All right. So that is all on how to process payroll in Payroll Panda. Okay, one moment, yeah. Okay. Moving on to forms. So under forms, Payroll Panda will help you to generate several different types of forms. Form E, EA, and LHDN audit. So usually once all forms are ready, Payroll Panda kita akan send a notification via email to our customers saying that the forms are ready. All they need to do is just log into the admin account and generate all the forms. Okay. Macam biasalah, e-form is for the submission of e-form. E-form consists of the employer's particular. EA form pula consists of the employee's salary information that they receive for that particular year untuk EA form submission for tax clearance. And finally, we have reports. So under reports, on this section will only be available if you have already processed payroll in Payroll Panda. So if you have yet to process any payroll, dekat dalam ni akan kosong. So there's no information over here. But if you've already processed payroll, there will be an information over here. So let's say you've already processed for June, July, and August payroll, 3 months payroll. Perhaps you would like to generate the 3 months payroll. Okay, the report for the 3 months payroll, accumulated report. So you can filter that over here. You can select from which month to which month. The accumulated amount for individual employee will appear on this section. You will be able to download it as well. It will be in Excel format. Okay, so that's basically it for Payroll Panda. So if you have any question that you would like to ask, feel free to chat or you can unmute your microphone as well to ask any question. Any questions so far on Payroll Panda?
No.
No questions so far.
So
Oh,
far, okay.
so far okay, that's great. Okay, sebentar ya. Oh, sorry. Sebentar ya. Okay, so on these slides, basically kita dah cover everything during the demo tadi. So company setup, kita dah cover. Okay, everything under company setup, payroll cycle, payroll settings pun kita dah cover juga. So payroll policies, as I mentioned to you just now, kita ada payroll policies on the overtime calculation, salary proration, unpaid leave. Okay, celebration, unpaid leave, overtime calculation, semua kita dah cover tadi. And payroll items also we have already covered on that section as well. We have a designated page for the list of all payroll items available in Malaysia. And in case if you would like to add your own custom payroll item also, you can add from here as well. Integrations pun kita dah explain juga. And untuk Jibble integration saja, we will do it later towards the end of this session. That is when we have already covered the Jibble punya demo. Okay, manage users also we have already covered. Let's say if there's any multiple PIC in charge in payroll, so you can just invite the PICs over here. Add employees section also we've already covered as well. Same goes to employee details. As well as the YTD, year to date data. And process payroll also kita dah cover as well. And PCB calculation, we're not going to cover this one lah because PCB calculation is a little bit confusing and hectic sedikit. Alright, so we don't cover that because system already help you to calculate automatically. And for payslip as well, we have yet to integrate with Jibble, hence this button is not applicable at the moment. Okay, so once we integrate it, nanti kita akan tunjukkan this publish payslip to Jibble nanti. Okay, this is how the payslip looks like. I forgot to show you guys. This is how the payslip looks like. If you uploaded your company's logo under company's profile just now, the logo will appear on this section. Okay, on top over here. Alright, and then we also have the bank files that is generated by Payroll Panda, compatible for you to upload in the respective bank portal or statutory body portal, and from E and EA as well. And TP3 form. TP1 form also available in the system as well. For reports also, we've already covered on the last section of the Payroll Panda. So in summary, Payroll Panda streamlines your payroll, automates tasks and processes, save time, effort, and cost, eases the payroll experience. So as you can see just now, when we process the payroll, it does not take more than 5 minutes for us to generate the payroll, for the system to calculate the statutory contribution. It is actually very seamless and save a lot of time. Although if you have more than 30 employees, more than 40 employees, it saves a lot of time rather than doing payroll manually. Okay, so I believe everyone over here, we deserve a 20 minutes break. So I will see everyone back in 20 minutes. Is that okay?
It's like so we can give a break for like 20 minutes. And then we also have question. Might be later when we commence after 20 minutes, might be you can answer the questions.
Okay, sure.
If possible? All right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Students, we will take a 20-minute break and I will inform you later when we are back, when it's like I see it again. Right? So please take a break. Thank you.